everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling. I'm your host. Freeland and a bunch of MPs from Toronto region opened up a power plant, a privately owned power plant with tax dollars in Markham. Now they are calling this power plant some sort of green revolution, or it's a pittance of carbon being taken out of the air for an enormous amount of expense to generate not very much electricity. I hope that the electrical generating plant can be retrofitted when they realize that it's not doing what they wanted it to do, and that either they need more money or they're going to have to change the way that they generate the electricity. We'll see. This video is not necessarily so much about the out of the power plant and the amount of carbon it saves. It's about Freeland answering questions about Mark Carney and some of the other questions that are related to her being finance minister, not to her being deputy prime minister. And some of the looks that the MPs behind her gave into the reporters crowd makes me wonder if they weren't speaking out of school, if they weren't talking off the script. However, before I get into it, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this channel with your friends. I'm up against a lot of censorship, so if any help you want to offer me, I appreciate. I have memberships as well as an open GoFundMe so that I can upgrade my equipment. Now, Freeland was asked a question about Mark Carney, a couple of questions in a row, and there was two things first of all, the word salad was ridiculous. I mean, the amount of there's no amount of dressing that could have made this word salad look any better. It just continued to go. I mean, I can't understand how she thought that she was tricking anybody. And even the reporter at the end asked her a question like basically, was what's your point? But I'm going to let you hear the segment out from her own mouth, and then I'm going to point out to how bad it is. All right, let's listen to this. I mean, I don't even have a good word for it. It's that bad.
Hi, my question's for the Deputy Prime Minister. My name is Amanda Lena Laterio. I'm with Global News. The Prime Minister says he's been trying to recruit for years Mark Carney to run for the Liberals. Have you also spoken with Mr. Carney to encourage him to run for the party, and why or why not?
I actually have known Mark for a very long time. Both of us are from Northern Alberta. And I think Mark is a great Canadian. I am really glad that he has come out as a Liberal. And I'm grateful for any support he can offer our party, our government, and our country.
So have you spoken with him?
I speak with Mark often.
About that?
I speak with him often. He's actually my son's godfather.
I'm sorry, what? Your son's godfather. I see. So you have been in his home. You guys have shared. I mean, when you make someone the godfather of your child, you know them really well. Does that not indicate to you the guy that used to run a bank is sort of giving information and guiding the finance minister? Does that not tell you that if this individual were to come into the House of Commons and try to take over the finance, it would only either be exactly the same or worse? I speak to him often. He says he's the godfather of my son. I mean, it's hard to find information about her children online, I'll be honest with you, but when you see photos, they're teenagers. So it's a long time that this guy's been at the tiller steering the financial development from the sidelines. It seems very suspicious to me that she would just allow that information to flow freely to the press in an effort to kind of make it look like she's not worried, without ever realizing that people like me will see it and understand exactly what the ramifications are. The ramifications are that every time you want to have a financial problem, you call up the most educated financial individual that you have in your speed dial, which happens to be a person you've known for a long time who has been the head of the Bank of London and right now is one of the biggest ESG proponents in the world, who's making billions of dollars off of making everybody go green. Come on, man. This guy's not any good for Canada. He's only going to make the problems worse, not better.
And my follow-up?
I thought that was a follow-up, but go ahead.
Just getting clarity. There have been multiple reports that the Prime Minister's office is questioning your abilities as finance minister. Has Mr. Trudeau raised concerns about your performance with you, and perhaps you can expand?
You know, the Prime Minister's views are really something you should ask the Prime Minister about. But I am really happy to speak for myself and offer my perspective. And my perspective is that Canada is the best country in the world, and Canadians are amazing. And it is a huge privilege for me to serve Canada and Canadians as your finance minister and as your deputy prime minister. So as I said a minute ago, it really, Canada is so amazing. And I know that Canada and Canadians, we face some big challenges, and we have some amazing opportunities. And I just consider it a real privilege every day to do my best to serve Canada and Canadians.
Sir, was that a yes or no as to whether you had received assurances that you will be continuing as finance minister?
See, they asked her that, and she just went off on how wonderful it is. The Canadians are this, and Canadians are wonderful, and everything is rosy, without ever answering the question whether or not she knows that she's getting the hook on the finance minister's job or not. But I think we've already established that it's probably unlikely that the reporter, the lady who trained as a reporter, is necessarily the one behind crafting the economic policy, as the one fellow that she knows who's the godfather of her child, of one of her children, who's in the world of finance and is making a lot of money off telling you to go green while he pipes oil all through Central America, as an example. I don't believe that she answered the question at all, and I don't believe that she answered the question because she doesn't have an answer to the question. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, we're going to talk about something else related to the job of the finance minister, and it's crime, and it's a straightforward, point-blank question. And you'll hear the question, and then you're going to hear this absurd answer.
It looks into money service businesses, Canadian-based MSBs that run trading and currency exchange apps and services. Some of these MSBs are being run by international criminals who are registering their businesses here in Canada, registering with FinTrack. They're marketed their trading app to investors in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and then allegedly vanished with upwards of $1 billion. Critics say that so far the measures taken by the Department of Finance have done little to crack down on MSBs. How do you believe these criminal MSB corporations who are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars reflect on our country?
And what you report and allege in your question is very, very serious. I take money laundering in Canada extremely seriously. I think your question is an important one. I think we do have more work to do here in Canada, both in terms of ensuring that we have the tools we need to crack down on fraud and money laundering, and also that law enforcement agencies across the country are doing their job.
So not an answer at all, right? She takes it so seriously and extremely seriously that she thinks that somehow law enforcement is going to be responsible for international money laundering and a Ponzi scheme. What the guy said was they put an address in Canada, and then they put the app in Bengali or Sri Lankan, and they put it on phones locally that are over there. And then those people give them money, or you come the other way, and there's a lot of people in. See, what you may not understand unless you are in an immigration family is the one or two people that get here have to send as much money home as entirely possible, because they are trying to make their lives easier for everybody. And they use these money laundering these money service apps to do that. They say, okay, here I have 100 Canadian dollars. Please take your 10%, convert the rest into, I don't know what they use in Bengal, but whatever they happen to be using in that region. And then you'll pay out, the individual will swing by to your little cubicle that you have there and take out the money that I have just sent to you. And they use these kind of money handlers to do that kind of thing, because you may not be aware, but the Royal Bank doesn't have a whole bunch of branch offices in downtown in any of these countries. So they have to worry about how they get the money through hands, and this guy takes the money, and then he, in a perfect situation, the individual will take the money, then they will send it to a different bank, and then from another bank they will take the money to convert it, right? And then in the end they just take a little bit of a cut, and it will depend on what day of the week it is, the value of the dollar, back and forth, and that's people who are doing it honestly. I think the people that are doing it dishonestly are a bigger fish to fry, because they're coming to Canada and making us look like a haven for criminals. Now we got car theft. Now we got people movement. We have money Ponzi schemes. People are stealing other people's money. When are these individuals going to get caught? And don't go talking to me about, oh, we've empowered the police to do what? They can't catch a cop car or a stolen car that's riding into the train station or onto a ship in the port. How are they going to stop a cybercrime? What are you doing exactly to make it? And what he asked was, how do you feel that this is making Canada look on the reputation? How does this make Canada's reputation, where we used to have a reputation as being a haven for hardworking people who just want to improve their caliber of their living? We, under the Liberal Party, under Justin Trudeau, under Freeland, and all of their, let's call it overlords, Canada has become a haven for people who want to break the law. Canada has become a haven for desperation. Canada has become a place where people have to cram themselves into overcrowded living. They can't afford to live a quality or a caliber of life. They can't afford to take vacations. And all of the money that they are working, that they're struggling to earn. I mean, people say, well, Tim Hortons has got a lot of people from, okay, but you think Tim Hortons is paying those guys a lot of money? They're not paying them any money. It's the nature of that style of job. So my point is that, and on top of all that, those individuals are working their face. They come across the world, they're working their faces off, and then their money gets stolen from them. And Chrystia Freeland, all she says is, well, Canadians are hardworking and isn't everything fuzzy, and I'm trying to empower the police to go nationwide. They make us a laughing stock every single solitary second that they're in office. However, we're just being embarrassed. People are laughing at us. The world laughs at us. They laugh at us so much that they come here and they commit crimes blatantly without fear. Why wouldn't they? If you're not going to get in trouble for something, do you worry about doing it? I think that this Liberal Party, can you even call people who are so elite liberals? I mean, really? Seems a bit of an odd connection in my mind. That's just my opinion. You can let me know what your opinion is down in the comments. I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you next time.